sure. Okay, subtracting integers. So for this first example, we have 4 minus 7. In the previous one, when we were adding integers, you would have seen 4 plus negative 7. So we're going to see today that they're very similar. So we have our number line again, right? We start at 0, we go to 4, and then we minus 7. So we're starting here, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we end right here at negative 3. So very similar. Some people like to think of like chips. So if I had like 4 positive chips, or maybe like $4, whatever. And then I had 7 negatives, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You sort of want to think like what cancels out. Like if they were fighting each other, like the negatives would win, right? So these guys would cancel out, these guys would cancel out, these guys would cancel out, and then we'd be left with 3 negatives, right? If this is like a war. I just saw Gladiator, so if it was like a gladiator. Actually, the sequel's coming out. I don't know if you guys saw that. So this would be negative 3, right? Same answer as above. Okay, for the next one, we have negative 5 minus 3. So we start here at 0, we go negative 5, and then we go even more negative. 1, 2, 3, and we end right here at negative 8. And then if we want to do our chips again, we'd have 5 negative chips, and then we'd have 3 more negative chips. So altogether we have negative 8 chips. Okay, so again, we have double signs. So if we remember from before, right, we have double signs. So we have a negative negative turns into a positive. That was from the last lesson. And then if we have a positive negative, that turns into a negative. This is just something you're going to have to memorize. Just think of, if I'm adding a negative number, that's the same thing as like taking away, right? If I'm adding debt to my credit card, it's like taking away money. So adding a negative is the same thing as negative. Minusing a negative is the same thing as adding, right? So we have these double signs here. This turns into 7 minus 3, which is easier to see, and that equals 4. And then this is the tricky double sign again, right? So we have this double sign here. And just because there's a negative in here, it doesn't make it any different. We still have to turn this to minus. So we keep the minus 5. This turns into a negative. And now we can do it like normal, sort of like the one up here. So negative 5 minus 4. So negative 5, we go even more negative. I'm spending even more money, and that's negative 9. All right, so let's do some of these, and then I'm going to shout out your names, and you're going to give me the answer. So if you've already done it, cool. If not, be prepared. Okay, so for this one, negative 5 minus 8, right? We are going negative, and then we're going even more negative, so that's negative 13. Here, this one looks confusing, but it's the same thing as the previous one. We're going negative 10, and then we're adding a negative number. So it's still going even more negative. It's negative 18, right? Our double sign, this plus minus turned into just a minus, like these two, right? Okay, 2 minus 12. We started with $2, but then we lost $12 because we gambled too much. We are now 10 in the negative. We lost $10. And then here's another double sign, negative 3 plus 8, negative 3, and then we gained 8, so we have 5. All right, that is it for subtracting integers.